Yep.
So the PBC, yes, they've got other outlets they're still going to be using these fighters on, but it might be time for Al Heyman to get these guys into some better matchups, so they can start generating some serious money. Keith Thurman versus Porter. That's good maybe on television, Lee, because it seems like Keith Thurman is a big attraction for the PBC right now on television. But that's not a pay-per-view fight. That's to me, that's a fight Thurman takes, basically waiting out for the Cal Brook and Spence outcome.
Which makes more sense to me.
That's the only
Just
reason
saying.
why I thought they brought up this rematch. I mean, come on, how did Andre Berto get you the shot back at the lineal champ of the division? Come
Here's
on.
the thing. Here's the thing. PBC has got some kind of working relationship with Eddie Hearn, so those things make sense to me. But if you start throwing top-ranked fighters or Oscars fighters into the mix, that's just not going to happen with the PBC. It's just not.
Yeah, Oscars fighters. I don't see that happening. Not with De La Hoya. Bob Arum. I don't know. I can't say that. We already seen Lomachenko versus Gary Russell, so that was one fight where Top Rank and PBC hooked up. I think they're gonna do it. I really do. Yeah, Adrian Broner. He
Adrian
was.
Broner's just going to go to jail.
I know. You seen that? Lee?
Yes, and I watched the videotape too, and he's wondering why cops stopped to talk to him about having bullet holes in his car.
8 bullet
That's
hole.
the most ridiculous thing ever. What did he think would happen?
I hope he got out. Because when someone shoots at your car 8 times, they probably have some type of connect in the jail that you're sitting in.
Yeah.
I hope he bailed out of there because that's probably not going to be a good outcome.
All right, well, let's cover some of the fights that went on here quickly. Jessie Magdaleno won in his bout against Dos Santos. Yeah, it happened, and he stopped him early, second round.
Nice.
But this Dos Santos guy, I don't even know why he showed up to the fight. Like, it was a complete mismatch. Kicked off the card. Shakur, get it right, Shakur Stevens made his debut here.
Right.
Against a guy named Brito, who tried to rough him up, drag him down, tear him around. They brought him out of Mexico, and he did his best to rough him up and make this thing go. Shakur wins that in kind of an ugly debut. I mean, he had a couple of rounds of really showing brilliance, but the guy they gave him wasn't a walk in the park. It was kind of a rough and tumble first outing. My impressions, though, of Stevenson is this, Andrew. He has a big entourage, and I get that big entourage vibe from the whole thing. Like, a lot of hype behind this guy. I don't know if that's good or bad for a fighter, but you know how I generally feel about those situations about putting too much hype on a guy.
Especially a pro debut.
Yeah,
I mean,
he came out hyped corner the whole nine.
Yeah.
He's typical top rank. We like him out of the Olympics. He's everything they want, right? They put him on as the second fight, so he's not even the first fight on their top rank card. It's tough. That's a tough position to be in, for sure. And that takes us to Gilberto Ramirez taking on the wackadoodle European Bursak.
Max Bursak, yep.
Yeah, let me give a lot of credit to Bursak here. He took a beating. He took a substantial beating. I'll tell you who made this fight. Referee Tom Taylor made this fight. So Bursak wanted to use typical European tactics of clutching, grabbing, and roughing up on the inside, right? And Tom kept it clean, kept him separated, kept him fighting, which basically allowed Ramirez to go to work. And on every single scorecard, it was 10-9 for all 12 rounds. 2 points were deducted on Bursak for headbutts and holding and assorted other felonies that occurred in the ring that he tried to put in. But somewhere around the 6th round, Bursak basically did the hug of respect to Ramirez because he was just basically getting beat on. At no point was Ramirez in any kind of trouble. The crowd liked it. And as you can tell from the main event going on here, Valdez he's in deep water with Miguel here. Miguel's tough. There hasn't been a lot to get excited about. They just basically gave each other the touch of respect here going into the 8th round. It's a close fight. I still believe that this is Valdez's fight, but it's close. Miguel's in this.
Now about Gilberto.
Really heard it this way. Yes, Gilberto. So Gilberto wins his fight, and guess who pops up behind him in a suit?
Triple G?
Jessie Vargas.
Jessie Vargas.
Wah, Triple G. Please. Yes, of course they brought up Triple G. Of course they brought up Canelo. Of course they brought up Chavez. He called Canelo versus Chavez a 50-50 fight, which makes no sense. Consensus ringside, Chavez versus Alvarez is a dropped weight to get paid fight for everybody ringside as well. I mean, that's kind of the vibe. But obviously, they're pushing towards a Jessie Vargas fight. Jessie was here in L.A. in a suit, got into the ring, shook hands, made himself known.
Jessie Vargas, he's not fighting, not Gilberto Ramirez.
Yeah.
Lee, they're not even, they're 5 divisions away from each other. Stop it.
I'm telling you.
Lee, there's no way they can do it.
Ramirez Vargas thing at all? Did that occur?
He was right behind him.
Say that again.
He was right behind him during the interview, post-fight interview.
Told you.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
not picking it up, dude.
Jessie Vargas.
These 5 divisions. Somehow Top Rank's making that fight.
All right, but damn, that's boxing's lowest moment right there.
Maybe I've got this completely wrong. I'm telling you, she even dropped, what about Jessie Vargas? In her interview with him.
Wow.
Yes!
That is incredible.
He's like, yeah, he can come get some of this.
Bob Arum's so old. If they make that fight, that's it. Bob Arum's done. He's done.
To find photos for anybody listening to the show, go find pictures of Bob Arum tonight. He looks like he's going to the beach on a yacht ride. He's got khakis and kind of an open kind of blue button-down shirt. It looks like he's going out to the harbor after the fight for wine. It is the best summer outfit ever on Bob.
Now, a more serious question, Lee, is did Ramirez look like he's in the ballpark of any of the guys you mentioned besides Jessie Vargas?
No. He
should
have shut down Bursak. If he wants to be in the discussion with Triple G or Canelo,
that's true. That's true.
You got to shut down a Bursak. You got to shut it down. Now, don't get me wrong. He pitched a complete shutout. 12 on every single scorecard. It's 10-9 all 12 rounds.
How many punches do you think were thrown? Did he throw it?
I didn't look at the connect rates, but he was connecting at a high percentage. I mean, it was an extremely lopsided fight that I thought Bursak was going to quit on the stool. He just had a lot of heart and wasn't going to go down. But no, Ramirez is not in the same. He's not in the same caliber with those guys. He might be in the caliber with Chavez Jr. I'd see that fight. And it might even be competitive. Oh, good punch by Valdez. Valdez has started working the body a little bit more. And every time he does, Marriaga comes back and pressing it again. This is a good fight. It's a really good fight for Oscar Valdez. And again, here's my comment for Valdez. You got to shut this guy down if you want to talk about big money fights. Miguel Marriaga is not a payday. I mean, I get that he's the right contender, but I know what's going to happen after this fight. They're going to bring up lots of big names. You're the WBO title holder. You want to be going after BA, BC, IBF guys. You got to shut down your opponents and act elite. I'm just saying. It's my opinion. Valdez.
We're going into the championship rounds now?
No, we're at round 9.
It's only round 9, okay.
Only round 9. What's the score?
I got it 4-4. 4-4.
4-4, unofficial pound for pound ringside score. That's pound, the number 4, the word pound.com. Go visit Bill Trio's website, The Happy Leprechaun. Read Carlos' story. He's taking fastidious notes. Like, he's a real writer, Andrew. He's like you. It's impressive. I am surrounded by talent. Steve Kim's kind of taking notes on his laptop. He's almost like he cares. Is that Steve Kim's girlfriend next to him? Or wife? Is Steve Kim married? Is that his wife? No. Oh, it's got to be the girlfriend. Steve did well. I'll say for the record, Kim did well. I wouldn't suspect him to get laid, but, you know. Teach their own, Andrew. Teach their own. Dan Rayfield didn't make it here, Andrew. He stayed in New York.
Stayed in New York, yeah. Porter.
Well, you know it's hard to move that mass around. He had to make.
Oh, will you stop it?
We would have had to clear out a whole table for Rayfield. It's kind of tight. So let's talk about the biggest news of the week while we wait for the outcome of this fight. Conor McGregor is really going to fight Floyd Mayweather.
You know what? I like how the UFC is
the terms now.
Exactly. They've taken over negotiations. I don't know where Mayweather's at, but it seems, and I said
really
this before,
for sure.
Yeah, I said that like a week ago, Lee, that ever since Dana White came out and blessed this fight, Floyd Mayweather has taken 2 steps back. I mean, you can just look at the timeline. It's all on the internet on how Mayweather was pursuing. Okay, we can do this fight, and then now you don't hear anything from their side.
Right.
Even McGregor put out something about Mayweather shitting his pants or his jocks, whatever that means. I have no idea. Dude's from Dublin, Ireland.
Underwear in.
Yeah, I know. It just sounded dumb.
Yes.
In Leprechaun.
I speak Conor McGregor Leprechaun. That was meant to be his underwear.
And no response. I mean, when has Floyd ever let someone talk and him not respond? So, yeah, definitely. I don't know what has happened with Mayweather on this whole subject, but he has gotten quiet, really, really quiet about it, Lee, where it does look like right now the UFC is pursuing this fight a lot more than he is.
I agree. Yeah, I completely agree. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the. There's a lot of mainstream media, and there's a lot of mainstream media here tonight on boxing for the next couple of weeks. Next week we have Klitschko versus Joshua. I'm sure we will do something just before the fight and talk about the odds, Andrew, as we often do with a mega fight of that caliber.
Right.
But going into that fight, what are your feelings at the end of this week and being 1 week out?
I'm hoping what I think about Klitschko is right, Lee, because I really do want Anthony Joshua. I would like it to have a new star in the boxing world, and it looks like Joshua can be that fighter if his skills are as good as we're saying they are. And this is the final test. Listen, he beats Klitschko either by decision or knockout. It doesn't matter. Him versus Tyson Fury then becomes the biggest fight in boxing. Even, if Klitschko does it, Lee, yes, it's a big rematch, but it's not as big as Joshua. You see, Joshua becomes a star at 19-0. Klitschko becomes a good champion that knocked out an overrated prospect. So the outcome for Klitschko Tyson Fury rematch is not going to be the same as if Joshua can finally put the final nail in the coffin for Klitschko's career. He is the new big thing in this sport. And I love that the kid said he wants to make $1 billion, because me and you know there's only one way you're going to make $1 billion, and that's fighting the best. And so that's what we need.
It's a joke.
Hey,
yes,
Mayweather has it. I'm telling you right now. See, look, I like how the UFC has switched these negotiations around, and now they're pursuing Floyd. And I told everybody, if the UFC was smart, they would straightening this out as far